Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. For my returning viewers, my subscribers, thank you so much. I do really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. And for new viewers, I'm happy that you found me here on YouTube and hope that you enjoy my reading today. If you do enjoy it, then please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. That way you will be notified when I upload new readings. And I typically do daily tarot snapshots. I offer an extended weekend reading, weekly reading, bi-weekly, and monthly. So lots of content for you over the month. But of course, if you'd like a more personalized reading, as all of my readings are general, and lots of people sort of watching the reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. If you would like something more focused on your specific situation and what's going on in your life, please feel free to contact me for information about getting a reading done. You can email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. You can also join me on Facebook at Changing Phases Tarot Readings. And my site also has information about the types of readings that I offer and pricing, and that is changingphasestarot.weebly.com. Right, so let's get into our reading. Our reading for today, this is an extended weekend reading, focusing on the energy surrounding us from Friday, November 10th through Sunday, November 12th. For the reading, I will be pulling 3 cards from the Sun and Moon Tarot deck and 1 additional guidance card, an oracle card from the Earth Magic deck by Stephen Farmer. Let me just put my cards together here and we will get started. So beginning first with the tarot portion of the reading, I'll be pulling the 3 cards focused on the weekend of November 10th through November 12th, 2017. Spirit, what do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us on the weekend of November 10th through November 12th, 2017. I'm looking for the energies for the weekend of November 10th through November 12th, 2017. What do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us for the weekend of November 10th through November 12th? And that one flipped over. Okay. Ooh, all right. Let me show you. We have, as our first card, this would be in the past position, the 5 of Swords. In this deck, it's called Defeat. Second card in the present position, we have the 2 of Swords, which in this deck is called Peace. And the third card, which is the outbound energy or the future position, we have Major Arcana number 17, the Star. And I did turn the deck over just to see what card is at the bottom of the deck, and we have Major Arcana number 6, the Lovers. So very nice. Okay, we set this down and pick up the other deck. Okay, so we're looking for 1 additional card for the weekend of November 10th through November 12th, 2017. What do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us on the weekend of November 10th through November 12th? What do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us? 1 card for the energies surrounding us for the weekend of November 10th through November 12th, All right, and the card that we have is Eagle, Communion. Let me hold this so you can see it. All right, give me 1 second to set the cards up, and I'll be right back with our reading. All right, so beginning with the overall energy for this weekend, right, the extended weekend reading, we have the Lovers. So this is a major arcana card. It's a card that has to do with, obviously, it's the soulmate card. It's called the Lovers card, but it's not just to do with soulmate connections, right? It can also have to do with choices. It's a card that is linked with needing to make a choice, which is interesting because we also have this Two of Swords appearing in the middle of the spread, which also has to do with needing to make a choice, but kind of not wanting to, right? Sort of closing your eyes to whatever choice needs to be made. But we'll get to that. But going back to the Lovers, so the Lovers card, obviously it does have to do with relationships. Most of the time when the Lovers card appears, it does have to do with a romantic relationship. We can see on the card, you have the sort of the Cupid shooting the arrow of love down on the couple here. So it's all about that soulmate connection with another person, sort of seeing yourself in the other person. It's that very harmonious, loving relationship, right? If it's not in a romantic sense, then this could be, just a very harmonious partnership with somebody. If it's in the work environment, it could be a harmonious sort of loving friendship with somebody else. It's interesting because we see here there are different figures that represent, obviously symbols that represent different things on the card. This deck, the Sun and Moon Tarot deck, it does a nice job of including many different symbols, right? Not just sort of the traditional like tarot kind of imagery for the card. And so this one, we have wands. You can see that there's a wand, which is all about, creativity and sort of potential and fiery energy involved in the relationship. We have there's the sword, right, which has to do with like our intellect, our ideas, our convictions. We have the woman holding the cup, the chalice in her hand. So, that's this sort of water energy has to do with our feelings, following our heart. So we have many different symbols here. And we do have also the eagle, right? And the eagle here is sort of symbolizing allegiance and also this kind of connection, which we have mirrored here in the card that came up from the Earth Magic deck, which is the eagle, right? Communion. And we'll talk about this in a little bit, but it's interesting that it showed up in both places, and also that we have, this choices showing up here, because sometimes when the Lovers card appears, it has to do with needing to make a decision, it's that head or heart decision. So it's a choice card, but it has to do with going, trusting our intellect, going with what our head tells us, or going with what our emotions, what our heart tells us, what our intuition tells us. So it's that type of energy. So interesting, nice energy for the weekend, but let's see how it ties in with the rest of the cards. So we have in the past position, so this would be, coming into this weekend, we have the Five of Swords. Now, not the greatest of cards, so I like seeing it in the past, right? So this means, it tells me that we have been through this already, right? We've gone through this, whatever the situation is. In this deck, it's called Defeat, but the swords and the sword suit in the tarot, it has to do with, this is air energy. So our thoughts, our intellect, lots of sort of cerebral energy going on here and lots of thoughts. And we see you have two swords cards next to each other here. The Five of Swords is a card that indicates a battle, right? And it's called Defeat in this deck. But it's because, you've won the battle, but kind of lost the fight. That's kind of how it is. And so you see that the woman, she's still carrying two swords here. So she obviously defeated this man on the floor, right? And you see that he has the 3 swords sort of around him. So she was able to defeat this person or whatever the situation was, right? But at what cost? You know, maybe in doing so, you see she ended up really harming the person, really hurting the person. So it's when the card appears in a reading, it does ask us to really pay attention to, you know, when we deal with conflict, how do we handle it? You know, are we true to ourselves in handling that conflict? Do we stay true to, you know, who we really are, our authentic selves, or do we end up doing sort of underhanded things in order to win? You know, sometimes when it appears, this could be somebody doing or treating you this way. So somebody might have treated you in an underhanded kind of manner, you know, sort of sneakily, or did something to win whatever situation it was, you know, and you were left feeling like the man here, or vice versa. You know, you could have maybe acted a little out of character in order to win whatever that situation was, you know, but then afterwards kind of look back on it and you know, regret acting how you acted because you might have hurt somebody's feelings in the process, or you might have acted out of character, and, you know, then kind of somebody looks at you and it's like, wow, I never thought she would do that to, you know, to win or to get that job or to, you know, it's that kind of thing. So yes, you won the battle, but, you know, at what cost? So it's really a card that asks us to, you know, sort of let go of all this negative energy. Yes, you defeated the person, but, you know, stay true to yourself, right? So move forward towards new things, new relations, new relationships. But, you know, pay attention to how you act. Pay attention, be sure that you are acting in, you know, in the best way possible, being very true to your authentic self. In the middle position, so the present, with present being, you know, quite malleable whenever you hear the reading, we have the 2 of Swords. So this is a card that typically indicates, again, more cerebral, more mental, intellectual energy here, but it has to do with a choice. And you can see that the woman, she's sitting here in this yoga position. She has her arms crossed, right, folded across her chest. And in the traditional tarot, it's a person who, again, is sort of standing in a very guarded position with the swords crossing her chest. So, you know, sort of guarding herself from, you know, from being hurt, and also blindfolded, so unable to see the truth. In this deck, it's called Peace. So it does have, you know, a slightly different representation, I think, in this deck, but it has to do with decisiveness in making choices, right? You can see that in this closed position, the person is sort of avoiding communication or avoiding making that decision or that choice, right? And the person is really sort of taking the time out to heal, to reflect. You can see the person is by the water here, just taking this time out to find the inner balance, right? Because it's a 2 card here. So it's looking for this mental, this cerebral balance, this intellectual balance, this inner balance, you know, and looking within, really going within, finding that inner peace in order to face, you know, whatever this is, right? In order to make this decision. Because with the 2 of Swords, usually it has to do with the need to make a decision, but it's oftentimes referred to as the stalemate card, because it's a card that sort of shows that you're unwilling to make a decision, right? So there's a need to make a decision, but you're unwilling to do so. You're kind of closing your eyes to making the decision. You know, it makes me think of when somebody, you know, like when children put their fingers in their ears and they're just kind of like, la, 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 la. You know, they know what they have to do, but they just don't want to face it. They don't want to have to deal with it. So if this is a, you know, relationship, it's kind of like when you don't want to deal with the relationship. Maybe, you know, things did go wrong. There was some type of argument, you know, and here you're needing to make a decision, but you just kind of don't want to deal with it. You know, it's kind of not like you're pretending it's not there, but it's just not being willing to face it, really. And needing to take this time out to reflect on everything in order to make a good decision, right? A decision that's really, you know, that comes from in your inner self, right? So you're looking inwards to come up with this decision. Whatever it is that you do decide here, you're being divinely guided. Your outbound energy it's number 17, the star card. And this is a beautiful card. It's a card of healing. It's a card of, wonderful things sort of being raining down on you. You can see here, I love this image. It's the star sort of, and all of this light raining down out of it in circles on top of the woman. So it's a card that has to do with, wishing upon a star, having all of your wishes come true. So again, when we put our intentions out into the universe, it's very important that we pay attention to what we're putting out there, right? Because kind of it's that card that almost cautions you, be careful what you wish for, because many things that you're wishing for right now could actually come true. So this is a powerful card to get. It's a divinely guided sort of energy, divinely guided card that shows that you have the universe there backing you, supporting you, healing you from whatever you went through here, and sort of pushing you on. And with this as the overall energy, it does make me feel like, there is something to do with a relationship. If this was an argument and you needing to sort of figure things out, just know that there's a healing. So I would say that, if this was a possible separation or considering separating, this to me shows that, things will be healed and you will be able to mend things with the person. But just be careful with how you act, be careful with how you treat that person. If it's just sort of it doesn't have to be, an all-out war. I mean, if it's just an argument, be careful about the things that you say. Obviously, our words do have the power to hurt, right, other people. So be careful with that. But it looks like, with the star card there, I mean, it's kind of the peace after the storm, right, or the light that comes after the darkness. So it's a card that gives us hope. There is divine intuition there, trusting in our inner guide. Knowing that, it also has to do with our intuition, so paying attention to that, much like here where we're asked to tune into our inner voice, right? This is also a card that, this is watery, lovely. You can see she's pouring out this very healing energy. So it does have to do with, it's this gift of intuition, but with the divine star, the light guiding our way. So, very positive, even though we do have this card in particular followed by, the Two of Swords, which is kind of like it's a difficult sort of stalemate energy. I do feel like overall, it looks like by the end of the weekend, the outbound energy that you have, it's a very positive, whatever you're hoping or wishing for is coming true. So seems like a nice weekend. The card that we have here as the guidance card, the Earth Magic Oracle card, is called Eagle, which again I found interesting, because we have the eagle that shows up over there. And this is a card that has to do with communication and that sort of intimate relationship, right? And we have kind of mirroring it here. We have the Lover's card with the eagle on there, which is all about that, that very sacred, that very special relationship with someone, right? That really kindred sort of spirit relationship. So, and we know that the eagle is, it's thought of as this very high, very noble sort of energy or creature. And it's this connection with our this higher being, this higher energy, this higher, spirit. So I will just read from the guidebook for this. And it says, whenever you experience a heartfelt communion with some physical expression of life, plant, animal, human, or anything else, it is only then that you can truly feel how your life force is similar to the life force that is all around you. It is only a matter of the differences in form. An essence is articulated into the physical world in a multitude of ways that is the same in everything and everyone, although it manifests in different shapes and characteristics. The essence of spirit emanating from the core of all things. Communion with nature is essential for you now. Take some time to do an open-eyed meditation with any nearby animal or plant. And we see here the woman, she's in yoga position. She is meditating here, trying to come up with the answer. So this might be, very important for you as you work through this over the weekend, right? So Do take some time out, go out into nature. It says relax your body as much as possible, breathe consciously, and keep your attention on the life form you're communing with. After a few moments, you will notice a sense of the boundaries dissolving, a melding of the I and thou. You may even receive messages or impressions as you find yourself in the flow of unspoken communication. And, I see the flowing here of the water, and I see, this communication, or this relationship, this connection between the two people there. So it's very, so I think it does tie in nicely with the message, but there's definitely, an energy here surrounding this weekend of renewal, of healing, decisions, and, possible, sort of making a relationship better again. So healing a relationship, right? Getting back with somebody, giving somebody a second chance. That's kind of what it feels like, more of a relationship reading than anything else for this weekend. So I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way. I thank you once again for joining me, and I look forward to reading for you again. Take care, and I'm sending you much peace, love, and light. Bye.